Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, I'm John, this is your True Nerd, and welcome back to Orwell, a game I was planning just to do like a one-off on, but actually I've been really enjoying it, so we're doing a little bit more of this. We did the first day, where we took a hipster, and we thrown her in prison for a crime she pretty much definitely did commit, though she didn't commit the bigger crime we were actually planning to pin her in the first place, which was the great big terrorist bombing. But she definitely did assault a police officer, she confessed to it privately, and so I don't feel too bad about throwing her in prison. Let's move on and see what we can do about her accomplices, who very, very obviously did it. Episode 2, A Place Where There Is No Darkness. The sun? Welcome back. Hope you don't mind if we get started right away. That's fine. Let's get on with this, Sims. Also, I really want to get a review. You're blatantly evil. I mean, I'm at least trying to do the right thing. I don't believe you are. So naturally, we're now looking into the group known as Thought, who have on their website the exact expression and poem that was sent to the police before the bombing. So, you know, they really should have been our prime suspects from day one, but whatever, I'm better at this than you guys. And naturally, of course, Goldfell's the guy who's written many of the articles on that site. We're starting off with him. Lovely. So here we are, Goldfell's. Now, actually an important individual, we need to get some more stuff. So if we go back to the stuff we've already seen, we can probably get some good stuff out of that. So let's start off with, yes indeed, we've got ourselves a Count Goldfell's, we've got ourselves a photo, but not necessarily really him. Like, it's very likely he's using a fake photo, so probably not actually really him at all. And over to his article, of course, we know already that he mentioned the German folk song, The Thoughts Are Free, and that's exactly what was sent to the police, so that is incredibly important, because, yeah, that's extremely yeah, the letter! We're right, I told you this so long ago, Symes. So, useful information. We now know what point he immigrated into the nation, 1993. And this game's set in, I think it's set in 2017. So he's been here a very, very long time. Fine. So, theoretically, he might, Symes, knock it off, alright? So, theoretically, that might be a real photo if he chose to immigrate here. Actually, no. When I was still young, long before I immigrated in 1993. Okay, so his age might actually be broadly correct there. Fine, okay. Also, how do we know he's a German immigrant? Like, it doesn't say that there. We've just sort of jumped into that, but whatever. And he actually says he created the blog. Fine, so that's useful information too. And yes, Symes, would you believe that the activist group Thought and the blog Thought might just be connected? Bloody hell. So, let's have a look-see at his other articles here. What else can we learn from the Thought blog? So he recruited students to assist with demonstrations like that held at Freedom Plaza, presumably the same actual event where potentially Cassie accidentally or sort of on purpose, or we're not quite sure on that, actually did the whole battering in of a policeman's head. Fine. So mentioned Thought held 3 demonstrations, recruited students. Yes, that's factual, true and accurate. Definitely put that in there. And of course, as Symes says, we need to figure out who the students are. They might be of interest. And indeed, in the comments, we have confirmation it was indeed the same event that Cassie was mentioning, because, yeah, please reconsider, the guy hurt there was only a goddamn cop. So, yeah, he basically decided to stop being involved after the same incident in which Cassie was arrested, which wasn't that long ago, because Cassie was fairly recently talking about being let out of prison. She was only held for about 2 weeks, having been arrested but not charged. So this is fairly recent history. But yeah, no longer active. That's definitely true. And we now know where the 2 students are from. They are Stelligan students, lecturer at Stelligan. So therefore, yeah, he must teach in some capacity at Stelligan, and the 2 students mentioned must be from there as well. Beautiful. And apparently, Stelligan is actually where the second bomb just exploded. Lovely, a university was mentioned. It's the same university he actually teaches at. Fine. But first, we've got some conflicting data here. Are these conflicting with each other? Yes, I believe so. So, we let ourselves be consumed by anger and hatred towards those we thought to do us wrong. To be honest, I don't think you did. By the sounds of it, Cassie was trying to defend her friend, so by the sounds of it, and there's no reason Cassie and, what was it, I can't remember the little girl's name now, there's no reason Cassie would lie in a private conversation. It sounds very much like one girl thought that a police officer was about to do something like beat her with a truncheon or whatever, and Cassie intervened to try and save her, but was viscerally upset by it and was therefore arrested crying on the ground after what she'd done. So I don't believe, like, actually, there was any conscious attack on the police there. I think there was just kind of a bit of, it's not really an accident, but it was self-defense that went a bit too far, or at least intended self-defense of a different... Can you self-defend another person? Probably not. So the conflicting information is either he doesn't like the fact of this troubled past of thought, or he feels responsible for the troubled past. That's not conflicting. Those two things can exist side by side very nicely. If I had to pick one, yeah, what he has said very clearly there is he's not happy with what he perceives to be a more angry militarist kind of standpoint for the thought group. So fine, we'll shove that in because that's more factually correct. And we've got an update on Cassie. She was arrested in her flat, willingly opened the door, cooperated with the arresting officer after having the warrant announced and her rights read to her. Fine, didn't actually cause any trouble, that's okay. Now we might have some new information over in the newspaper. First suspect in connection with the assaults arrested. Also, assault is a very polite way of saying terrorist bombings, absolutely. Newspaper speculating that because 3 stanzas of the poem were sent to police, there might be 3 bombings. That is pure speculation. We definitely can't make any sort of judgment on that yet. Fine. Now over to Sturlingan University's site for the memorial. Continue to the main page. Do we need to? Sometimes all remain silent. Hang on, let's see what we can find here. Yeah, we need to find ourselves the teacher. We need to find what course he was teaching, ideally. Here we are. Media Ethics. Course currently unavailable due to Representative Professor A. Goldfels having retired. Right, I don't know why I can't move that straight over. That's incredibly pertinent to the case, but whatever. Still, let's click through to his page here. There we are. So, luminary in his profession, Abraham Goldfels. Marvellous. We've got ourselves an actual name there. Very good. Abraham it is. Well done. And of course, we've also got an actual better picture of him. That is a better picture there. Let's do that. So yeah, he was actually kind of stupid enough to use his real face on a highly provocative blog. But I guess, like, the whole point is he didn't want it to be provocative. He just wanted it to be about free thought. And he actually wasn't in favour of any of, like, the more militarism or violence or whatever. So, yeah, he actually retired afterwards. So I guess possibly he's... I don't really feel like he's going to be involved in this. Like, from what I'm seeing so far, he's not the sort of guy to do a bombing. So left in 2006, former Professor Media Ethics. Good, that is all useful. So, stuff he did. He was also a journalist at one of the most renowned German daily newspapers. Okay, shove that in there. And chairman of a global media ethics congress. Okay, quite frankly, it feels weird that he'd moved to The Nation at all, given its kind of clear obsession with not privacy, unethical media, all that stuff, but whatever. Okay, chairman of the Global Media Ethics Congress, absolutely shove that in there. And also published a book, The Thoughts Are Free. The exact thing, of course, that was posted to the police. That doesn't prove anything, but it's certainly worthy of further investigation. Honestly, I probably am more suspicious of his students, potentially. We need to figure out who those students are. Now, here we are. Notable former students. We need to find someone in media... Ah! Well, there's a flipping familiar name. Joseph Langley. Okay, why am I not clicking on this? Game, this is clearly pertinent. Though actually, maybe it's not. Because obviously, he's kind of trained in law, not in media. So therefore, possibly, he never actually had a class with this guy. Might just be coincidence. Yeah, none of these main people has actually studied under Goldfels by the looks of things. Thankfully, the Orwell machine has already got me a nice attendee list from the university. Marvellous. Now, we know he left in fall 2016, so therefore this semester is irrelevant. We just need to go before that point. So summer 2015, let's see what we got here. Obviously, we want media. And no one here of the correct teacher. Fine, move on. Winter 2015-16 into law, and again, there we go. We've got someone here. Lovely. So Goldfels did one class that particular year. Right, we've got 9 attendees, but none of them jump out at us. No names we've seen before, I don't believe. Fine. Another class in summer semester 2016. This is presumably the final one before he retired. And again, actually more people this time. 27 attendees. Okay. Way more. But okay. Juliet Carrington. Right, so that is, yeah, that was her friend, wasn't it? Yeah, that was actually the friend of Cassie. That doesn't mean she's more suspicious than anyone else, but let's just bring her into the profile thingy. Yeah, but Simons, the fact that she's a friend of Miss Watergate and a student of Abraham Goldfels means literally nothing. Okay, that's totally not relevant. And for whatever reason, the game is highlighting this particular person, Harrison O'Donnell, for being a guest with no student number, despite the fact there is another guest with no student number right there who we don't care about. Why is that one more important than the other? Hang on there, Symes. Harrison O'Donnell, we've seen that name connected to Miss Watergate. I'll report this right away. Have we? I completely forgot that. Where was that? Harrison and Juliet, those must be Abraham Goldfell's students within thought. Ah, that's why. Okay, because we know that Cassie had something to do with thought. So if she met and knew those two people, then that's enough for us to suspect those are the two students. Fine. It's not exactly watertight, but I guess it'll do as a starting point. I mean, we don't know how big the Thought organization is or how many cells or whatever it's got. Like, very easily, like, another one of these people could be the right person, just Cassie never actually met them. Oh, wait, was Harrison that kind of slightly hipster-looking guy who spoke to her in her blog? Hang on. Yep, that's the man, all right. Harrison O'Donnell. Lovely. But sadly, I cannot get that slightly not flattering picture and shove that straight in there. Okay, fine. Right, let's start with Harrison, because, yeah, he had some slightly more aggressive opinions on his blog. He is a media punk as an occupation. I'm not sure that's a job. Let's just leave that be. Just quickly disable that. Lovely. Post deleted by the user. Deleted multiple posts from timeline. Okay. Everything alright with you? It is now. Good flipping riddance. Okay, it is pertinent that he's been deleting entries off his blog that worried other people. That does seem relevant. But though the post has been deleted, the comments underneath remain. Feel sorry for the girl. It's clear she's been attacked and just panicked. Now they'll have her ass for this. We didn't start the fire. Okay. So basically he's been deleting everything, and from all the comments underneath, it's pretty clear that he was just basically saying flip the police a lot. Okay. Okay, we have got potentially Harrison O'Donnell in a relationship with Juliet Carrington. Got it, and by the looks of it, potentially, Juliet Carrington might actually be a guitarist in a band, but apparently there's a conflict, so I must leave that alone for the time being. Though by her comments underneath, feels like, yeah, she may have just stepped in last minute and not be a permanent member of the band. Someone else who I'm guessing is a permanent member of the band started flirting with her. She didn't really flirt back, she was just polite, and then Harrison got really, really flipping aggressive. Easily jealous. That is in no way pertinent to the case. We're just disabling that. That is not pertinent. So leave that alone for now. I'm guessing inside her timeline there's going to be the conflicting bit of information. We've already got this. Let's just go over to her now for a second. Juliet, there's a photo for you. Lovely. You, thankfully, have actually given us an actual job. Beautiful. That's more useful. In fact, actually, you've given us all sorts of useful information. Guitars, singing, books, and board games. Marvellous. If she weren't about to be thrown in a secret prison for the rest of her life, I'd date her myself. Right, in you go. Juliet dislikes going out. You know I'm not so keen on going out late night, plus I don't dance ever. Not pertinent to the case. Get rid of that. Fine. Actually, I guess it could give us some... It could give us some information about her behaviour or movements later, fine. Confirmation they were friends, we kind of already knew that, that's fine because they were chatting when I actually arrested Cassie, but sure, let's just confirm it. Wait, no, I didn't actually mean literally torture, I just meant the friend, so I'm just such an idiot. Confirmation her birthday's February 14th, but we can't move that over to update that, but it's nice to know she was literally born on Valentine's Day there. And we have got ourselves the Carrington family website. Marvellous. Man walks into a bar, meets the girl of his dreams, they marry, settle, and have 4 daughters. What family has its own website dedicated to just talking about their own family? That's weird. So, pages on all the different Carringtons there. Second daughter, we'll get back to that later, if need be. June Carrington and... Wait, hang on, you named them after months, didn't you? April, May, June, and Juliet. Oh, I hate you all so very, very much. Right, so, confirmation of her birthday there. Probably don't need to know her favourite food, or her favourite colour, or playing the guitar, fine, shove that in there, why not? And probably don't need to know her favourite book, To Kill a Mockingbird. Good book, I agree, but isn't really necessary for this. Parents, Jonathan and Esther, of course, know about them. Studied media economy at Stelligan University. Obviously, we already knew that. Now, we've got the conflict here. She decided to end her band career once she was single again. Okay, single and former member of the band. Hang on, this was... They said this was updated for her birthday. So we can add a date to that right now. So yeah, February 14th, 2017, her parents updated this, saying she was single and no longer in a band. Now, approximately 4 or 5 months later, then Harrison O'Donnell posts, July 5th, 2016, this couple rocked the show as it will rock the rest of the goddamn nation. Okay, so that does not prove they are a couple in the slightest. That just proves she was in a show as a one-off. I don't think we really know whether they're in a relationship or not right now, but we have no solid evidence here to suggest they are definitely actually dating. Sure, Harrison's just a jealous dick, but that doesn't mean they are actually going out. He might just be possessive anyway. What we do know from this is she is not a permanent, regular part of the band. That is definitely true. She was just stepping in on a temporary basis, and it doesn't sound like it's going to be a regular thing. In fact, she specifically says there, I guess I should have pursued that musical career before even beginning my studies. Studies giving me a headache at the moment. So, she definitely was studying, not in the band at that point, but she might still be in the relationship. Show me the conflict here, take me back over there. She decided to end her band career once she was single again. Now, her parents might just not know who she's with, but I will say that's more likely to be true on a balance of probabilities, I think. So we're going to put that in. Now, here's something more useful. So Cassie and Juliet only just met each other or got to know each other, maybe they kind of knew of each other before that point, at the protest where Cassie injured the police officer trying to protect Juliet. So that is probably, yep, that's very useful. Get that in there. Old friends pointing out that she didn't used to be interested in politics, she is now, so fine, that is indeed relevant. And yeah, when that debate got a little bit sort of slightly snippy, Harrison jumped in and was an absolute dick, and Juliet basically said, back off, don't get involved. So it feels to me like Harrison and her probably aren't dating, and possibly, yeah, Harrison's a little bit on the threatening side, so let's not worry about him for the time being. What else have we got? We've got something in the listener in a minute, but first we've got, ooh, okay. The thought has potentially been hacked or just changed over to lots of gibberish. Fine. Oh dear. I've opened the dock and we've got malicious code inside Orwell. They've sort of hacked us potentially. Oh dear, never mind. So possibly they know we're onto them and they're actually trying to get us back. Okay, what else have we got here? So, the band. Right, let's just verify she was not a permanent member of the band here, which I believe we can indeed do. So we've got, yep, Harrison is a permanent member of the band, and we've got Danton Castro here. Fine, so she was not a permanent member at all. She was just wrong profile. Hang on, just move over to him. There we are, Harrison. So confirmation that that is true. Here we go, former member. Fine, so she was at some point in the band, and possibly that photo from July 2017 was her, like, making one appearance back for old time's sake, but only on a temporary basis. Okay, well, that's fine then. So, yeah, also we now know a new alias for him, Hancock. Beautiful. So, back over to you. We've got a new photo. Sure, let's make you face the other way for a bit. Lovely. And we've also got an alias for you as well, Tubman. Not exactly a nice alias, but whatever. So, upcoming show was cancelled, or rather, well, not an upcoming show. If that's April, that was actually quite some time ago. So the most recent gig was actually quite a while ago, and it was also cancelled. And there is a message that potentially Hancock, i.e. what's-his-face, Harrison, had quit the band. May or may not be true, but let's get it in there. And such a shame that Tubman left again, so yeah, she left too. Okay. Possibly both of them left because they were too busy doing politically stuff. Ah, no, that wasn't the most recent gig. Okay, we've got a different thing going over here. Oh, wait, no, this is actually a while ago. Past July the 4th, 2016. The Cell, Bonton. Okay, and we have got a new band member, Tubman, but she didn't actually last that long. So according to a random internet comment, which I know for a fact we definitely shouldn't believe under any circumstances, she planned the Freedom Plaza protest. But that does not mean it's true and there's a conflict somewhere with that, okay. And finally we've actually got ourselves an email address for Harrison. Marvellous. Shove that in there. And in 2015, they released an album with only 7 songs on it, so I'm willing to throw them in prison just for that crime. Now let's nip over to Rosen Technologies here, where Juliet worked, to see what we can do there. Though admittedly, she's only a PR assistant, so there's a good chance she might not be on the website. Yeah, they have over 5,000 workers. The fact that PR assistant will be mentioned on the website is highly unlikely. No, by sheer coincidence, on the Contact Us page, there are 3 people related to PR, including a PR assistant. Alright, fine, that's a remarkably good coincidence, but okay. 1, we've got a better image for you. There we are, that looks nice and professional. And 2, we've got a phone number. Probably will be useful for listening in on your, like, text or whatever. Right, that's all we've got there. Let's go over to the listener. There's probably going to be a few things going on here now, including, how is Cassie still communicating? How exactly is she on a chat program when she's almost certainly in prison right now? Screw it, let's figure out what's going on here. So recording started. What is happening? Joseph Langley, her lawyer boyfriend, just sending her a bunch of messages. Possibly this is a one-way conversation, and obviously she's not actually there to pick any of it up by the looks of things. And yes, indeed, no answer there. Fine. And Juliet, I'm guessing, is going to do oh, wait, no! No, hello! Wait a flipping minute. How is all this happening? Have you been released? That's strange, given we've literally got a confession from you. Ah, no. Juliet, this is Joseph on Cassandra's account. Right. And they're simply swapping notes because neither of them have actually seen her. Fine. Though actually that's odd, because I swear there was something in the news about how she'd been arrested. Or possibly, no, that might have just been the updated police bulletin, which isn't publicly available. Fine. Okay, this is interesting. So there's the conflicting bit of information I've been looking for. Who was responsible for the Freedom Plaza protest? Juliet saying right here that Harrison did all the planning for it, though it was organised by Thought itself. But yeah, well actually, the conflicting information is a random anonymous internet commenter saying, hey, Tubman organised it, woo! And it's, you know, basically what we're asking is, do we trust an anonymous YouTube comment, or do we trust a statement from the person in question? And obviously, this, to my mind, has a lot more weight behind it. So as a result, yeah, we're going to go for this, that Harrison probably did the planning, because unless she's trying to... No, she doesn't have any reason right now to try and, like, hide anything, because she thinks she's speaking privately to Joseph, who she must trust, because Joseph got Cassie off the charge the first time, and none of them know she's been arrested again. So I'd say that's probably more persuasive. So, oh, no, need to move that over to the right profile first. Hang on. Harrison, I'm afraid I think you did the planning for that, in fact. Yes, because not only that, but if the band was in any way connected to it, then she wasn't even in the band, he was, so that strikes me as more persuasive. So, starting point, we do have confirmation that the Freedom Plaza protest, where, yeah, Cassie attacked the police officer in the end, was definitely organised by Thought. We think Harrison did the planning for it, might have been Juliet, though. Now, what else have we got here? Something from Harrison. Looks like a text message. No, an email, in fact. Okay, fine. And he sent flowers to someone called Angela. Good, that suggests, well, either he's not in a relationship with Juliet, or he is, and he's an even bigger dick than we thought, because he's also sending flowers to someone called Angela. Okay, so whoever Angela is, get that in there. And we have a bank account here. That will probably be useful. Lovely. And what can we do with a bank account? I'm guessing we can access his statements. Now, that strikes me as very, very useful indeed. Before we do that, let's get over to Juliet. She was calling Esther. That's her mother, I believe. Welcome to Rosenteg. This is PR assistant Juliet Carrington speaking. How may I be of sir? Hello, Juliet Carrington. This is Esther. You sound so official at work. Okay, hi Mum, is this important? You know I can't take personal calls while I'm at work. Just want to check in, make sure you're home for dinner tonight. Fine, we've got ourselves, well, we don't know that means she lives at home with her parents at all. That's not true. She might just be visiting. Actually heading out with some friends from work. Time for some Bonton clubbing. Okay, fine. Honey, please don't. In the news they said it would be advisable to avoid public places. They expect another bombing. Getting worried I can't sit at home with you every night of the week. Ah, okay, now that does suggest she lives at home. Fine, that's okay then. Exactly what these terrorists wanted to do. Honey, please, you won't have much freedom left if you're dead. Mum, I won't die. Oh, stop worrying, Esther. So we do need to have pretty clear confirmation she lives with her parents there. Nope, not your profile. Hang on, move you over to Juliet there. Lovely, shove that in there. Plans to go out in Bonton on Friday evening. May be relevant if there's another bomb attack. We know she actively dislikes going out. Well, we do know that, but that doesn't mean she, like, you know, I actively dislike going out, but sometimes with some groups, some places, I really like going out. Like, people aren't just black or white. A person who doesn't like going out in general doesn't mean they literally never go out, Symes. And Victor, well, actually, we don't know that Victor Rosen is actually her boss. We just know that might actually mean he's, like, the head of the company. She almost certainly doesn't report to him. She almost certainly reports to the head of PR, who we actually have a picture of on the website. So, I would say that's probably not actually true, but just in case, let's create a new profile for him. But to my mind, no, she actually doesn't work for him at all. She almost certainly works for the actual head of PR, because why would a PR assistant report directly into, like, the person who the company's named after? That doesn't make sense. And here's where things get a bit more interesting. A call between her and Harrison. Let's confirm whether they actually have a relationship here if we can. You got O'Donnell, Harrison, it's me. Well, 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 look who it is. I knew this moment would come one day. You've caught me by surprise. Shush, Juliet. Ever since we first made out in the clinic. Yeah, they're totally not actually a couple at all. He just desperately wants it to be because he's a jerk. Right, will you please spell me your juvenile bullshit? You know what? I like Juliet a lot better for calling him straight out. Marvellous. So this is why you did it, to make me call you back again. Okay, I'm talking about the thought page you so generously volunteered to maintain. Hang on, what's going on here? Ah, okay, so the dodgy broken thought page that's also attacking Orwell, both of them are basically saying not responsible, okay. The same reason you bailed out of Thought. Ah, he isn't in Thought anymore. Thought didn't do shit anymore since Abe disappeared. Okay, lovely. And he hid all the articles except Cassie's. Abe archived the first ones because he didn't want us to know. None of us could ever access them. I merely did the same thing with the rest because that would be in Abe's interest, and Cass wanted to show her article around. Please, I know you deleted all your rebellious posts to secure your cozy job writing that ridiculous opinion column for TNB. Okay, interesting. So, not a couple, but definitely did make out at some point, so useful information pertaining to him, not so much to her. She accuses him of bailing out of Thought, he doesn't deny it, so no longer an active member. And by the sounds of it, they may previously have been in a relationship which Juliet ended. That would make sense with the tone and what we've seen together, yes. Okay, fine, that stacks up. And Abraham Goldfell's disappeared at some point, or rather at least they couldn't find him, he wasn't involved anymore, but we know he dropped out already, so that's not really new information. And then he hid all the articles except Cassie's, fine. And now we have an actual day job for him. He's a columnist at a newspaper that does seem to be basically a propaganda journal, but whatever. And yeah, that's why he deleted all his posts that we've already seen on his blog. Fine, all stacks up. And one more email from this guy, from an unknown person, okay. I see you. Seems I caught you pants down that little page of yours. Confused why that's fine. You don't know me, I like to keep it that way. But I know a lot about you, media punk. If I knew what I know about you, wait, what? If I knew what I know about you know about what this little group of yours... Okay, you could write this email more clearly. You'd find it just as hard to ignore that these bombs might just carry your name tag. Get what I'm talking about, right? So, the Righteous Hacker Initiative will expose all the information I got on you. Might interest the cops, won't it? I've got no love for the government, but I will do what I must. So give me one reason not to do it. I might reconsider. So, potentially, the reason why their website's all wacky is because, yeah, this group, whoever they are, they hacked this guy and are basically threatening to give all the information and sort of frame him, potentially, to the police. So that's intriguing. Who are these guys? Hey, wise ass, this is the most pathetic blackmail attempt I've read in a long time. You want a damn good reason not to call the cops? I can give you 3. You hacked my site, that's highly illegal. I don't get what you want to have found out about me. True, our protest didn't always go as planned, but since you claim to know so much about me, you should know that was hardly my fault. What I wanted is all in my blog, not a word about bombing people, only grabbing attention. Where are your mad skills, hacker boy? Marvellous. So he doesn't seem that intimidated by that, fine. Right, back to the reader. What have we got going on here? Something new on Juliet's timeline. Right, what do we have? And we've got our first bit of information about the Stelligan protest here. I feel responsible. I spent 5 years of my life at the university. I even organised a peaceful protest. So that strikes me as her basically saying, yeah, that was her. So Harrison might have been responsible for organising the Freedom Plaza thing, but she's definitely responsible for Stelligan campus because she specifically said so there, and there's basically no reason for her to lie there. It would be easier if she was lying, she said, I didn't do it, because it puts her in a bit of an awkward position. So I'd say that's very likely to be true, but we need to find a bit of information first. And we've got Harrison O'Donnell's newspaper column here. Lovely. He wants to shut the border with Pages because, yeah, he thinks it's dangerous and there's trouble over there, which does seem to be broadly true from what we've seen. Now, weirdly, he's parroting government propaganda there, but then I suppose he is working for this newspaper at the time. This doesn't mean that's really his actual opinion. He might just be saying that because he has to. I mean, that could just be a line like added in by an editor, that he didn't even necessarily write that. And he indeed predicted a rise in terrorism in the very close future. Wait. If Harrison O'Donnell genuinely wanted the border closed, and was predicting that if it's not closed, terrorism might go up, if he were to organise the terrorist attack himself in order to get the border closed, like possibly he genuinely believes that the border needs to be closed, he might see this as the best way of doing it. He could be responsible. That's potentially a working theory. Now let's get over to Hancock's writing on the wall. That's another alias for this guy. What have we got here? Here we go. I've already got a nice plan of my own. As soon as I get myself a handful of like-minded people, we're going to occupy that friggin' elitist university Stelligan, that's for sure. No, that's just blowhard blustering. Blatantly, we should trust Juliet's version of events more. So show the conflict. That is definitely more likely to be true. Yes, go over to Juliet. That is more likely to be the truth. Now, a whole bunch of stuff here. The Carringtons, new information we can get about her parents, including... Wait. We might have something here. So, we've got the house, which we know Juliet lives in too. A house in Malloy Court, a coastal spot in Farview. Okay, you know where else Farview was mentioned? Farview was just mentioned in that... Apparently it's also around the corner from where you live. Well, I'm sorry, but there's about to be a bomb attack there, so, because I figured it out before anyone else. Because, yeah, if we just go back up to the newspaper nice and quickly, his column, maybe next week a bomb will go off in the middle of Farview or Bonton. Like, if he is responsible, and right now he's my prime suspect, he's already called Bonton, next he's saying Farview, which is exactly where Juliet Carrington lives, and exactly where she's probably going to go home tonight if she listens to her mother. Now... if he is a bigger dick than I thought, he wants to cause the bombs to go off in order to get the border closed because that's what he believes in, but he also potentially doesn't particularly find himself fond of Juliet because she dumped him and now keeps shooting him down. Yeah, and he's a nasty, jealous piece of work. He might be about to say, screw it, if I'm going to bomb someone, I may as well bomb her because she turned me... Yeah, I suspect she's about to get bombed. Let's go over to his bank statements here. Let's see if we can find some nice, like, you know, fertilizer or whatever you need to make a bomb, for example. Here we go. The People's Drugs and Pharma. Very, very regular customer in a Bonton drugstore. Extremely regular, in fact. Okay. The National Beholder Publishing. Okay, received a large payment from the newspaper. That's... I'd say that was his wage. What period do we have here? Yeah, this is just the last 30 days, and I can't set it to anything else. That's probably just his wage, but that's that feels like a big wage just for... Well, actually, I have no idea how valuable this currency is. If this currency is roughly pounds or dollars, like for a newspaper columnist who's quite young, that feels big to me. But okay, I don't know how much columnists get paid. Owns, weirdly, 2 health insurance policies of varying degrees of expense, and they're quite expensive too. Okay, what's going on here? Fine, nothing that condemns him too much, but I guess possibly he could have been buying from the drugstore chemicals he could have used to make a bomb, but that's pure speculation at this point. Wait, we might have a new purchase going on here. Apparently this has just updated itself. Nope, never mind, just the flowers that we saw earlier. Now, the thought seems to have been fixed by the looks of things. Yep, looks like he's reverted it back to its old state. That hacker was potentially a not particularly talented little script kiddie, fine. But when he's reverted it, it would appear that some of the articles might have actually been... No, only the first one has been de-archived, fine. Right, back to Harrison's blog. What else have we got going on here? Back in 2014, he lives in a trailer, but that's extremely unlikely to be true now. Like, now he's making good money. So I don't think that's true anymore, because that's outdated information. Like, we may as well shove it in there, but it's probably outdated. So, peace back in 2013. Basically, in 2013, he absolutely flipping despised the mind-boggling stupidity of the government's plan. And yeah, that was back in 2014. He was living in quite poor conditions. But then he wrote his article. He wrote the article here. This article is much more recent, I believe. Yeah, 2017, he's come around and basically said, oh, it's been working like a charm. I suspect that, yeah, what he's written in a newspaper that's got an editorial line and is very public, we should put greater weight on this. But there's also an unknown third conflict here that we haven't got to yet. So just leave that alone for the time being and head over to the listener. Right, we've got more emails from this guy. Knock, knock, Harrison. The thoughts are free once again. We're not done yet, you and me. But first, I must turn to another. Okay, fine. What's going on here? Your online banking account was just used from an unrecognised device. Okay, so possibly that same hacker just did that. Got it. This is interesting. 2015, Goldfels targets Hancock, though we can't guarantee it's really him, but might well be. Like your attitude, looking for people willing to join a debate club called Thoughts. Okay, so him recruiting the people who become the students who he would then be worried about later and leave. Let's just shove that against him. Here we are. Debate Club invitation. No information going on here. Dear readers, I would like to invite those who are interested to our new founded debate club, The Thoughts. Fine, okay. Someone called Concern 1. I'm not a student, only here for self-improvement. Topic really piqued my interest. Am I allowed to join? The name's Nina. Okay, so Nina, you're very welcome at Thought, replies Hancock, obviously actually Harrison. So, intriguing. Just shove that, well, okay, we don't know who you are, to be honest. You're just a new person. Let's just get you over here and shove you over to here, please. Wrong profile. Oh, does it need to be attached to Harrison's because he was the one that invited her? Fine, shove that in there. So, this Nina person, shove that in there. We've got the handle Concerned 1. Back over to Harrison's website. We've got... anything new showing up here? Ooh. Okay, did I just miss that last time? Alright, fine. I think I must have just missed that last time. So, Outskirts Camping Bonton. Fine, so potentially could still actually be living, like, off the grid a little bit, maybe. Shove that in there. And would you believe the comment that I saw earlier was in fact from that same Concerned 1 person? Lovely. Right, Nina. We've got ourselves, oh, apparently we can't just make that her face, understandably. Guy hurt was only a goddamn cop. Okay, fine. So, yeah, you were a little bit of a nasty piece of work. And she previously organised something for the Thought that she messed up. Okay, this is interesting. That also opens up a new article on the Thought itself, the 5th one that had previously been locked away because she commented on it, and that opens that up. And we do indeed have, July 2015, his opinion was still hostile towards the government. So, we've got ourselves, he's either hostile towards the government, or he is supporting the government position, or he is rejecting the government's position. I mean, that one's probably most factually true based on everything we're seeing here, so I'm going to say that is indeed the truth at this point. Like, it's definitely, like, especially as, like, 2 bits of evidence point one way and only 1 point the other, and the other one is possibly editorial line. So let's go for that. So he wants the Thought to become an actual activist group on the streets. Fine, that's a factual thing he called for. It doesn't mean it happened, but he called for it. Goldfels didn't like the escalation of tensions, but Hancock was basically just, oh well, let's just do it anyway, screw it. Actually, no, I assumed that first line was going to be incredibly sarcastic, but no, he actually was willing to back down. So he was planning a proclamation on a government building roof. Okay, that's attention grabbing, sure. Nina was in favour of storming a Bonton shopping centre as the first move, but those aren't conflicting. It's just both of them said that should be the first move. Okay, that's, like, the fact that, like, either or neither of those things happened, it doesn't matter. Hancock suggested that should be the first move. Concern 1 suggested the other. Surely we can just factually check whether either of these things actually happened. Like, it's not a question of one being right or wrong. They both were suggested. Concerned 1 did suggest that, and Hancock did suggest the other. Okay, fine, whatever. I'd say probably Concerned One feels like not really the leader of the group. I'd say Hancock's more the leader of the group. So probably, yeah, I'm guessing that is the conflict, right? That's the conflict there. Yeah, that is the conflict there. I'd say probably Hancock, so I'm less trustful of him. A government building? Holy, that must be it. That's where the third bomb will be. No. The third bomb's going to be in Farview. I'm telling you right now, Symes, it's happening in Farview. If that's all we have, it's what we've got to work with. Let's get this interrogation thing going before we run out of time. It's going to be Farview. I'm telling you right now. And now we're going to eavesdrop on Cassie's... Why would Cassie know? Why are we interrogating Cassie? Arrest Hancock. If anyone's going to know, Hancock is going to know. I'm telling you, Hancock's responsible. The bomb's in Farview. But whatever. Don't listen to me, I guess. Who is this? Why can't you just leave me alone? Miss Watergate, my name is Symes. I'm an idiot and I'm not very good at my job. Great, Symes. I'm so glad you're terrible at your job. I already told the other guys everything over and over again. It wasn't me who hurt the officer. We have new evidence that states otherwise, which is why you're in custody. That's not what this is about. We're investigating the bombings at Freedom Plaza and Stelligan. Just want to ask you some questions. Cooperate. It might reflect positively on you. Okay, fine. No, I don't want to frame you for that at all. I know you're not responsible for these bombings. In fact, I'm not sure why we're speaking to you. Just go and arrest bloody Harrison. So you've been in close contact with the Thought group. They have nothing to do with it. No, I really think they have. So she's probably going to start getting jittery in a second. We have your confession regarding the nasty incident with the police officer. Dear, oh dear. And where'd you get the supposed confession? We know you've been talking to Miss Carrington about it. You've been spying on me. Yep. Yes, we have. Okay, so she is suitably rattled. I first went to the Freedom Plaza demo, don't know much about their plans. That's almost certainly true. Mr. O'Donnell had plans of some kind, of a proclamation on the roof of a government building. Which one is it? Never heard anything about that. Look, I'm telling you, we're on the completely wrong bloody leg here. Nope, no information whatsoever, and I'm not surprised. Just go and arrest Harrison, he's totally responsible. We need ideas fast, else... Okay, the bomb's about to go off and it's going to be in Farview. Here comes the bomb in Farview! And it's the... Okay, it wasn't. It was the other one. I'm guessing whichever you select, it's the other one. I'm guessing you're guaranteed to get this wrong, if I had to guess. If only we had done things differently. Okay, fine. So, Nina is now possibly our prime suspect, at least for the time being. So we'll deal with that tomorrow, and until then, you are dismissed. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, the Circle Shopping Centre has indeed been hit. Well, on the plus side, possibly Harrison isn't quite as guilty as I anticipated. We'll have to see about that, yes. Yes, we will indeed. And that is day 2, and we have learnt an awful, awful lot. And yeah, I'm still suspicious of Harrison O'Donnell, but we need to learn a lot more about this Nina person. And tomorrow, that is what we are going to do, ladies and gentlemen. Day 3, coming up tomorrow as we start investigating this Nina. I try and figure out whether, in fact, Harrison is as suspicious as I reckon he might well be. But I was wrong. I did call that wrong. I thought it was going to be Farview, and I thought Juliet was about to get killed. So, maybe not. Maybe not, in fact, but... we'll see. We'll find out tomorrow. But in the meantime, I've been John. This has been many a true and this has been Orwell. I've been loving this. Link in the description below. Thoroughly recommend it. Thank you very much, and goodbye. You know, I really hope we've agreed open borders with Japan, by the way. Otherwise, they have basically just invaded. I may have picked the wrong fight over... Yep. And my cities, of course, have got even more flipping high-tech. They're mysteriously still completely dependent on, you know, an aqueduct. Now, I'm not saying your entire army is mostly already dead, but it kind of actually is.